Hello, my name is Anthony Kiremi. I'm the Dean of Students at Laser Hill Academy and Director of Programs at Laser Hill Academy.
I'm Mrs. Palan. I'm the director of Laser Hill Academy. Laser Hill Academy is an old institution. It is part of Babra Institutes of Education, which is 45 years in existence. It's a high-cost international school. We call ourselves high cost not because of the expense or the cost of education at Laser Hill. We call ourselves high cost because we define high cost as excellent standards in academics, in facilities, in care we provide. So basically Laser Hill is an international school that provides excellence all around. Laser Hill offers both the IGCSE, Adexcel IGCSE program. It also offers the IAL, that's the International A-Level program. And we offer what was the 844 and now the CBC program. We define excellence by looking at the outcome. So for us, excellence means successful outcome. It means achieving the very best for each individual child. So excellence is driven by a process. It's not a destination. It's driven by a process. It's driven by a process from the time that a child enters the school, the attention you pay to the child's development in terms of academic success. Therefore, is the child able to interact, understand, and accept the curriculum, whichever, whether they choose the international curriculum or the Kenyan 844 or CBC program as we know it.
How does the school support students who are maybe struggling academically?
Our school knows for sure that various students have various capacities in terms of the way in which they want to learn. So we have programs dependent on what individual child gives us. There are those that we will give more time in terms of individualized learning. There is separate classes for individualized learning and extra classes for that. More important is to involve the child in activities that, learning activities that are important to improve them individually. A remedial one-on-one class with a teacher, a peer talking to them in terms of academics and training them is all geared towards building up the capacity and competence of that particular individual. So it's not a one-sided way of looking at things. It's a holistic approach to individual performance.
Given that most kids discover their talents when they are either in primary school or high school, so what are these opportunities that Laser Hill provides to their students for them now to explore into their interests and passions?
So Laser Hill is well known for its co-curriculum program. I think that it's a brand that is highly valued for the amount of time and resources that are spent in building an individual's talent. So we in fact, drive excellence through that talent. A child's interest in football is built so that the child actually develops an interest in other areas and has a plan A and a plan B in their life. So Laser Hill provides facilities to train children in all sports. By all sports, I mean specifically, we do basketball. We're a powerhouse, if I may use the word powerhouse, in basketball. We are well known for being national champions in several years, including the last year. We've been national champions in football. We always reach the nationals. We've been national champions in rugby, and we do swimming. We do drama, where we also always reach the nationals and are the top 3 teams every year. We may win, we may come second, but we are always rated the top 3. And thereby developing the talent of the child. Children are often those who are exceptional. I mean, I think it's more difficult for a child to actually become exceptional in football than become exceptional in the classroom. To become an exceptional football player is very difficult. It's a dream most young children actually want to follow, but it's difficult because it's one in a million. Yeah, and to reach that Messi caliber is a dream every young boy may have, but to get there is perhaps a very difficult task. And it is not just talent, it's the willingness to put the time in, the training, and also we support the child in that process. We support the child in identifying his or her path. But we insist on that plan B for every child. Extremely important. The plan B for a child interested in sports is that he must also do extremely well in his academic program.
How do you identify and nurture talents in Laser Hill, unique talents in Laser Hill?
Yes, you will definitely know that all of us are gifted differently. All of us have skills that are innate, sometimes inborn. There are characteristics that you watch and see in individuals that are way above the rest in terms of what each one of us can do. So as early as 6-7 years, you are able to identify there's something extra that this particular child has that another particular person doesn't have. So you just have to be on the lookout by virtue of, let's say, for example, a basketball player or a footballer. By age of 7, 8, you realize there's a skill above the rest of the kids that this particular individual has. So you have identified it. And by that identification, you have not necessarily said he cannot do the others. It's just that there's something special in this particular skill that he has. So by age of 10, you know for sure that the individual is capable of playing. Then you nurture it then, because you have identified that particular individual, you nurture it well, and then you promote it by way of giving opportunities to showcase the same. And once you promote it, you are giving audience to him in terms of what the world can see in him or her for that particular, in that particular matter. And so that is exactly what I do. I see, I watch, and you have to have insight. You are a good talent coach is like an orchestra, writer. He harmonizes everything so that it can tick the right boxes of that particular performance. So it could be, you're like harmonizing whatever the child has that is different from the other person.
Okay, so apart from basketball, football, swimming, and drama, what are these other clubs that we have in school that helps kids be more creative and innovative?
Yeah, so the school does all offers every possible avenue outside the ordinary co-curriculum or regular co-curriculum. We play a lot of chess, we do a lot of robotics, we have our journalism club, we try and invoke interest in wildlife and environment. We have a science club which invokes hopefully a scientist who will perhaps one day take the first rocket to Kenyan rocket. Yeah, the Kenyan rocket. Our emphasis is the Kenyan. We are an international school and we have students from all over Africa coming to Laser Hill. But driving a Kenyan culture, understanding a Kenyan identity, working for Kenya, being Kenyan is our primary goal and objective.
Wow, thank you. Given that, okay, we always say like safety comes first. So I'll want to know like what are some of the measures that the school has put in place to make sure like students are safe in a very safe and secure space?
So I think that when a child is brought to Laser Hill, the number one question that a parent has is, will my child be safe? And safety is a series of issues. Parents are skeptical about a boarding environment. They are worried that their child is going to face bullying in the institution. Bullying can be from the administrators themselves, can be from the teachers and the wardens and whoever is the caretaker, or bullying can be interpersonal among the children. So to me, I believe that's the primary concern. That's the number one concern that a parent has. And as an institution, we have a very strong child protection policy. So we've driven a culture at Laser Hill where there's a very open environment, where children have free access, not only to their parent, because to us, coming to school is not denying access to parent. So for us, it actually means that the child should be able to have access directly to the parent. And therefore, a child can decide in the morning, I want to speak to my mother. We will go to the reception and he will get access to his mother or father. A child must have access to authority. So children, teenagers today build networks, and they don't have an automatic trust mechanism. They do not trust their teacher automatically like perhaps I did in my time. They are skeptical of adults as such. So you need to be able to reach out to them, and you need to be able to give them an environment where they are open to freely talk. And I think Laser Hill is a place where freedom is celebrated. Freedom of expression is celebrated. A child must be allowed, and through several network systems, allowed to cope, allowed to talk, allowed to express him or herself, and then listen, a listening school. So I believe that those at the top of the administrative hierarchy, which is with me as a director of the institution, and then you have your principal and your deans of students, you have your heads of departments. We must be willing to listen.
What qualities of leadership does the school aim to instill in students, and how is it achieved?
I think that number one quality I would like to instill, we would like to be able to push towards, is integrity. Leadership is teamwork. So we work a lot on the teamwork skills of an individual. And I think leadership is knowledge. So if a child has integrity, confidence, and is able to build a teamwork, and has the ability to look for knowledge. And everyone is not knowledgeable about everything, but you have to be able to actually be curious enough to understand and gain knowledge. And once you have those skills and are able to communicate and transfer those skills, then I think you're a leader.
How does the school incorporate spiritual development into curriculum or extracurricular activities?
So like I said, Gaspar, leadership value for us is number one is integrity. And you cannot build trust without actually building a strong spiritual foundation. I think that a human being, every human being needs anchoring in their religion. And for Laser Hill, the importance is that we build on the child's religion from home. So we do not impose our religion on the child, any religion on the child. Laser Hill is a predominantly Christian-orientated school, but we build on every child's religious background. We provide services for Catholics. We provide the SDA services, the Advents. We provide Islamic space for Islamic religion. Students who practice the Islamic religion will definitely be allowed their prayers and a special place for them to say their prayers. Students who are SDA will not go to class on Saturdays, but will be in their own chapel on Saturdays. Catholics have their Sundays. So yes, we build a strong foundation, because without understanding yourself and without knowing who you are, I don't think you can be a strong, successful individual. And religion, it starts with religion. It starts with your belief in God.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Given that this school has teenagers, I know our teenagers are exposed on social media and all that, so they get a lot of pressure and mental health like problems from social media. What programs do we have in place that help students go through that mental health well-being?
It's a difficult one, Gasper. I think this is a problem that society is facing, and it's going to really become, it's going to blow in our face if we are not careful as a society, not just as a school, but as a society. We need to start thinking seriously as to how we are going to impact our individual child with what is happening in social media. Because the child today is not only facing, like you said, the pressure from not be doing well in exams. That's not the big pressure. The big pressure is, why is so and so wearing that, a particular brand, and why don't I have that brand? How do I get that brand at any cost? Whether my parents can afford it or not. How do I look like that person at any cost? So you have influences, you have all this happening. So how do I actually, become what I am not? And that's a very big problem. We have pseudo-personalities. We have children who are very different at home, and we have children who are extremely different out there with their friends. And I can assure you that you may not know your child's true personality anymore. So Laser Hill provides a full-time counseling program in the school. Is it successful? I think it is, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think we would say about 7.
That's above average.
It is above average, yes, but it's still not where it should be. It's not where it should be, because getting the teenager to talk to you is the biggest challenge that an adult of today has. Getting the teenager to actually tell you what his problem is very difficult. And I'm sure that every parent will tell you that his teenager comes home, locks the door and shuts himself off and says, I'm fine. Yeah. So how do we break through that barrier? That's a tough one. It's a very tough one. It's not easily achievable, but we must work hard together. We really must work hard together. And by together, I don't mean just the community. I mean the government needs to start paying attention to this. The government needs to start looking at, where is alcohol being served? What are our teenagers being exposed to the right environment or not? We have communities developing. Are those communities providing the right space for the teenagers? So it's not just the school. It's the outside. Remember, a school is a direct reflection of what is happening outside.
Okay, so as I'm a random parent who have just watched this interview, but now I really want my child to join Laser Hill. How do I go about it? How do I go about the admission process and all that?
So Laser Hill is a very we maintain an open door policy. Every parent is encouraged. Whoever is interested in coming to Laser Hill should visit the school. It is only by visiting the school and meeting the administration, the people in charge of the care of your child, that you will understand what an institution is and whether it fits what you really are looking for or not. But you would start the process by calling us or sending us an email, and we will respond to you immediately.